So he's right. We've got the people who were in Selwood, and somewhere I think in Clackamas actually a few weeks ago now with their weapons over there, slung over their backs, walking around. They had a concealed handgun license, and this was perfectly legal for them to do. And when I say that people need to be better educated on laws, people don't realize, yeah, this is what they can actually do. That's completely 100% legal. Okay. Now he was specifically talking about the rally that happened Saturday at City Hall, and there were some guys down there. I actually only made it to the last part of that, but other people who are here were at that rally, and they saw, you know, who was there. But I will speak to where I was. On Friday, I was in Salem. Friday morning, I was actually, Ceasefire Oregon was there as part of the Oregon Public Health Association. How am I doing on time? Okay, all right. So we were part of the Oregon Public Health Association. We had a booth there. And public health, you know, there's a whole concept of market justice versus social justice. Market justice means the NRA and the guy who owns Bushmaster, who sits on the board of directors of the NRA, we love here, they make a lot of money out of guns. And they have a saturated market here in America, you gotta admit, 300 million guns, 308 million people, that's a saturated market, okay? So they got a lot of, you know, they gotta kind of excite a lot of fear and concern in people to buy guns. Okay, but, so anyway, we were just down there with the Oregon Public Health Association because they had invited us, and we were actually really talking about things like safe storage. You know, keep your weapons locked up and unloaded if you have kids there. Just, you know, nothing radical, that's just really over there to talk about. And this group, kind of a loose-knit group of people, from what I understand, I was on their Facebook page actually, decided that they're going to come down to the Salem, the Capitol, on Friday to do a big protest. They said, you know, I've got my guns, I got my right to have my gun. Yes, you do. But it got to the point, and actually my family's here, they don't know this, so they're not going to be happy. But they got to the point where they were coming up the Capitol steps, and they had concealed handgun license. By the way, if you have a concealed handgun license, you can bring any honkin' big gun you want into the state capitol. And I was told by one of the aides about 30% of the senators and legislators and Congress people in Oregon, excuse me, senators and representatives in Oregon carry their weapons into the Capitol. But anyway, so we had, I don't know, 200-300 people on the other side of the street. I'm up on the Capitol steps. There are a few other people. Katie's there, maybe 4 or 5 other people there supporting us. And more and more of the people with their, you know, semi-automatics start, you know, filling up on the steps and things like that. That's their right. But then this man from, Jordan is his last name. He's from KMTR-TV, I think. Anyway, in Eugene, Channel 16 in Eugene. And he says, I'm going to interview, is that okay? And I'm like, that's fine. And so he starts talking to me. And I start explaining, look, what's really happening here with all these people starting to encircle us and get closer and closer and closer? They're trying to intimidate me. They're trying to say, I don't have a right to speak. I don't have a right to exercise my democracy, my democratic right. People did not come to Salem that day because they heard there were going to be hundreds of guys there with guns, and they said, I'm not going to expose myself to that many guns. They intimidated people. And I said at that time, the Second Amendment does not trump anyone's First Amendment right to free speech. And really, that was about intimidation. This wasn't about a right to carry a gun. This was about trying to intimidate people who want not to ban guns, but to have reasonable gun laws. That's really all we're talking about. So yeah.